It's no longer a question of, wow, this is mad. A lot of people even call it witchcraft. This is awesome. No, let's take it away from that level. Let's ask ourselves, can we teach machines to learn the same way an human being can learn? Can a piece of computer, let's forget machines, because we think of artificial intelligence, a lot of people think of robots. We think of, I will share my screen soon because there are some things I want to show you. We think of robots. Let's move it away from robots. Can we teach a computer to answer questions the same way a human being can answer questions? Can we do that? Can we do that? That's the question. So if we can answer that question, we understand what gave birth to artificial intelligence in the first place. So we now have things like chatbots. Most companies all over the world now, they do not use customer care live assistants again. They use chatbot. A chatbot that will take in your query, will understand what you are saying through natural language processing algorithms, will do in-text citations, we extract articles of English from your text, we'll process it, we'll think about it, and we'll give you a sensible answer. I use Google Assistant all the time. Okay, let me share my screen now. I think I should share my screen at this point. I use Google Assistant virtually every time. If I use Google Assistant, I'm using my current microphone, so of course it won't work because I'm using it for Google Meet right now. I use Google Assistant for most things. I just tell it play music. I tell it play Love Yourself by Justin Bieber for me. I need to play from YouTube Music. I tell it play me the latest video from so person. I do these things frequently. You understand? And that's just one of the many applications of intelligent systems, just one of the many. We have a lot, a lot of them, a lot. In fact, let me shock you, intelligent systems are finding their way into every aspect of our society now. Nigeria still uses all those street lights that will be doing on and off. They wait for 60 seconds. Many countries don't use those again. Many countries uses computer vision to study traffic. You discover that this traffic light, what we call traffic light itself, you discover that at night, when maybe a car is not coming from another lane, it will still be counting that 60 seconds. After 60 seconds, it will block. So imagine a rider coming in from a particular lane, you understand? And that particular rider has to wait for 60 seconds before going. That's what makes a lot of people break the traffic light rules, even though there's nobody else on the road. We now have intelligent traffic light systems that will use computer vision, cameras placed beside it to study. It will measure the rate of traffic at different lanes. I wish I can show you all these things tonight, but Nigerian network situation. It will measure the different vehicles at different lanes, you understand, and it will make a decision that, okay, I think these people should go first, these people should go first. Not just analog systems, not just systems that will just stay for 60 seconds and go. That's the basic aspect of intelligent systems. We have a whole lot of them. In fact, that's why I told you I'm so in love with intelligent systems. I'm a student of aerospace engineering, for example, and my final year project is centered around how can we use deep learning. If you're familiar with artificial intelligence, you know that there's an aspect of artificial intelligence that is called machine learning, and then there's an advanced aspect of machine learning that is called deep learning. And there's an algorithm under deep learning that is called convolutional neural networks. So my project revolves around how can we use convolutional neural networks to predict design parameters for aircrafts. And while doing that, I now delved into some research and I discovered that a lot of people are using uh, generative adversarial networks, GANs. They are using it to generate new designs for aircraft. I mean, they'll just teach a computer previous aircraft that's been designed for the past 10 years, and they'll tell the computer to generate another design based on those designs. But we don't know all this because our country constrains us. I mean, look around you. Network is bad, light is bad. Even our universities doesn't give us 24-hour electricity. There's no time to prototype, there's no time to research, there's no time to do all this. But there are very few people in our society that actually break out of all these bondages, out of all these mediocrity lifestyles, and they peep forward and they try to stand out. And these are the black men we know that are making waves all over the world. I have friends, real good friends, that are doing their internship in one of the most respected places in the world. Yes. It's no longer how many certificates you can submit now. It's now about what can you do. I think last month DSE hosted an artificial intelligence seminar for linguistic students in our school in Kwasu. And it was amazing how artificial intelligence can greatly affect the field of languages, what we call languages, Yoruba, English, Hausa. It's amazing how intelligent systems really impact that. In that seminar, we're exploring how in 1998, the United States, I think that was in 1985 or 86. The United States was trying to translate a 20,000 page journal from Russian to English, and they had serious issues with it. Boil it down to 2020, even you at home, you can translate a Russian document to English. All you have to do is scan it, put it on your phone, and read it with Google Translate. That's all. No other thing. So think about within the space of 20 years or more, we now have intelligent systems that can automatically translate. In fact, there's a feature on Google. Okay, let me share my screen now. Let me share my screen now. So let me use one of the practical applications, and these are things that really drives me crazy. So this is an image of the Mars Ingenuity rover. No stress. These are intelligent systems. At its very core, these are what we call intelligent systems. Now, machine learning is divided into diverse phases. They are, in fact, nowadays, even Geoffrey Hinton, they call him the father of deep learning, even Geoffrey Hinton cannot even adequately classify the types of machine learning we have, because machine learning, or the types of artificial intelligence we have rather, because artificial intelligence applies to every area. It applies to biology, it applies to physics, it applies to chemistry, it applies to linguistics. Those studying Yoruba, it applies to it. Do you know one funny thing I discovered is that languages that has not found a way into Google Translate, or let me put it this way, the languages that has not found a way into the digital world, they are gradually moving into extinction. Does somebody hear me tonight? Any language, I don't care how popular it is. Hope you know, on the digital world, or in the digital world rather, Yoruba is a much more respected language, is a much more popular language than Hausa. How many of you agree with that? Let's use the in-call messages. How many of you agree with that? Yoruba language is a much more respected, widespread, well-known language than Hausa, despite the fact that there are more Hausa speakers in Africa than Yoruba. The number of Hausa speakers in Africa, they are much, much more than Yoruba. But if you come to the digital world, to the web now, to the internet, Yoruba is a much more respected language, a much more famous language than Hausa. This is because Yoruba language, or let me say Yoruba language speakers, they are much more versatile with the internet. The more you tweet in Yoruba, the more you write articles in Yoruba, the more you design and you create Yoruba movies, the more you upload Yoruba textbooks on the web, the more intelligent systems from Google, from Apple, from Facebook, the more they learn about your language. That's the trick. And if you agree with me, Yoruba is the most common language on the web. The most common language on the web. It's much more common than Hausa, much more common than Igbo, than every other language in Africa. You bet with me that there are so many American movies that they spoke Yoruba in them. Noughts and Crosses. They spoke Yoruba in Noughts and Crosses. Raymond Reddington's movie. What's the name of that movie? This movie by Raymond Reddington. Who knows the name? Blacklist. Yes, they spoke Yoruba in Blacklist. Blackish. That American comedy movie, Blackish. They mentioned Yoruba culture there. They mentioned Yoruba culture there. For you to know that it's as simple as that. Any language that does not find its way on the digital world, I don't care how spoken it is, I don't care how famous it is, I don't care how sweet it is. I know people that love Hausa. I love Hausa, so I want to learn Hausa, but it's not finding its way on the digital web. Let me give you this intuition, everybody. Listen to me carefully. One of the ways they train intelligent systems now, see, when I talk about these things, I'm not just talking as a third party. I'm talking about people that has been actively involved with this thing. I learned from one of the best people in AI in the world, from some of the best. I learned from Andrew Ng. Andrew Ng is a professor in Stanford University. He's highly respected. Yes, I took his course, 3 of his course. This holiday, I'm taking 5 of his courses. Yeah, because I want to go deeper. He has developed, and I'm not talking about courses of coding. I'm talking about mathematics, statistics. Those are the very basics of artificial intelligence. He was building intelligent systems from ground up. Building intelligent systems from ground up. How can we use mathematics to build something like Google Assistant? That's what he was doing. So it's not all this coding that we are doing now that we just go to the computer, use one algorithm. That's not what I'm talking about. So when I say something, you can know that at least I have little knowledge about it, if you can believe that. Now, if any mega company, we call some people FAMGA, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, and one other, I've forgotten the last A. We just call them FAMGA. They are the tech leaders in the entire world. You understand? So if any of those companies want to build an intelligent system, for example, they designed GPT. How many of you know about GPT-4? GPT-4 is the most advanced natural language processing model in the world right now. Before they created GPT-4, they created GPT-3. GPT-3 itself is capable of writing an entire article for you, and you would think it's a human being that wrote it. In fact, there is a mobile game that was developed with GPT-3. The name of that game is AI Dungeon. You can download it on Play Store. AI Dungeon. AI Dungeon is a game whereby you'll be playing it's like you are telling a story of yourself. So it will ask you to choose a particular role you want to play. Maybe you're an armed robber, or you are somebody lost in the wilderness. If you pick that particular role, it will give you a story. It will tell you what's your answer. You know, how many of you have played choices on there's this game Choices on Play Store, whereby you'll be a particular person in that particular story, and they will ask you, do you want to kill someone? Do you want to go on a date with someone? Then you'll be making a couple of decisions based on something. How many of you have played that game? Choices, murder weapon, there's one, criminal something. It's like you're playing an active role. I need answers, please. So I'll now I'm actually making sense. How many of you have played such games before, whereby you'll be responsible for making deliberate choices inside that game? Not like the game will be giving you a preset. Yes. You see, GPT-3 is an artificial intelligence part of that game. Now, those other games you have played, they are rigid. In other words, every single role you are playing there has been predetermined. Do you know what I mean by that? Every single role, there, you can't go outside the variables. So if you make a decision that they will tell you, you just earned $500, what do you want to use it for? A, buy a land. B, take your girl out. C, all those variables has been predetermined. But GPT-3 is funny because GPT-3 does that game, AI Dungeon uses GPT-3, and it does not work with static variables. In other words, that particular model is learning your decisions inside the game. Awesome. I never don't understand this until you play the game. So whatever role you pick, it's not that it has been predetermined. It's entirely new to the system. So every scenario that system is giving you is specifically tailored for you. That's awesome. And let me tell you the funny thing. That's how they want to be designing mobile games now. Imagine a Grand Theft Auto 5 whereby you can make decisions yourself, whereby you can decide that today I want to go and steal somewhere, and the result of that theft has not been predetermined. You know, most games that we play, everything you want to do from A to Z has been predetermined. They have coded it rawly. Yes, Grand Theft Auto. They have coded it rawly. If you want to fly an aircraft, all the variables of flying that aircraft has been predetermined. But what if you have a game whereby you are like a newborn baby inside that game? Everything you want to do, that game has never seen it. You are making your choices yourself, just like real life. That's the world we are going into right now. That's the kind of world they had in Ready Player One. You understand? I'm not you've seen the movie Ready Player One. I'm talking to you about reality, something that companies are working on right now, next generation stuff, whereby you'll be the master of your own gameplay inside the master of your own inside your own particular live game. You understand? Those are intelligent systems. That's what the world is moving into right now. Like it's like a first person view. It's like a first person shooters game whereby you're making all the independent decisions. If you take it up a notch and we start going into things like augmented reality, you start seeing that developed countries are now finding better ways to hold practicals. How can we have mechanical engineering students that do not even understand the internal part of a vehicle? How do we have cybersecurity students that has not even experienced the practicality of cybersecurity? And that's why we have inefficient professions. So universities are now finding a way to impute things like augmented reality, virtual reality, to simulate real-world scenarios for students. Imagine, how many of you know VR headsets, virtual reality headsets? Imagine if you can design a simulated car, and we ask a mechanical engineering student to piece the car from top to bottom with virtual reality. And if you have played virtual reality before, you would definitely know that everything you are moving, it's not like you are moving it physically, but they are predetermined variables. Even that is still an aspect of artificial intelligence because you are using computer vision. And the applications are diverse and diverse and diverse and diverse and diverse. It's a lot. It's just a lot of them. So it's just left to you to find. I think last month or last 2 months, I did a project for some people whereby we're predicting virus. Yes, yeah, I remember now. It's malware detection. I think it's on my GitHub. Can I access my GitHub now? Yeah, I think that would be pretty slow. It's on my GitHub page. You guys can check it. DSAL. DSAL is the name of my GitHub. D_sal. So you can check it out. No, DOB. Sorry, let me type it. So you can just check out the project in case you want to use it. DOB. Yeah, so that's the name of my GitHub profile. So you guys can check it out. We were trying to predict malware in mobile devices, in a network traffic, you understand? So let's say we have a network architecture now, a network system on ground, receiving traffic in real time, you understand? We now embedded a model in the loop. I was not responsible for network design. I don't even know much about network design, frankly. All I know is I took the data that has been fed from, I think, 40,000 rows or so, and I designed a model that can detect malware inside that traffic. You understand? So we now embedded that model in the traffic flow. So every traffic coming inside, every traffic coming into the system that has been designed will be screened by the model to determine if it is infected with the virus or not. And if you are downloading antivirus nowadays, you will see a feature there that they call AI enhanced diagnosis. Sorry, I'm showing you my on camera. AI enhanced diagnosis. I don't know if you have seen that before. It's on SmartApp, yeah, and I think it's on Microsoft Essential too. Now they are trying to embed artificial intelligence data, data that has been gathered all over the years to develop an artificial intelligence model to enable better prediction. So that's why I told you that artificial intelligence is all about us teaching machines how to make decisions. And there are several aspects of artificial intelligence. We have machine learning, we have natural language processing, although everything is interwoven. We have computer vision, we have computational biology. Computational biology is another field. Those ones deals with how can we detect bacteria with artificial intelligence, how can we screen. They use all those things in real time. They use them. We will not know in our environment, and you'll be thinking I'm lying because you have not experienced it before. But when you research about John Hopkins University and you see that they are using cancer model, those basic cancer predictions, is what they are using to predict cancer, is what they are using to diagnose cancer in John Hopkins University. These things are very, very real and practical. They do X-ray of people's chest to determine pneumonia, and they'll pass it through a model to make better diagnosis. These are intelligent systems, and it's very important because our world now is moving towards that, is gravitating speedily towards that sector. Speedily, yes, towards that sector. So it's important we find a way. It's important we find a way to integrate whatever we are doing to let me use the word that it's important we find a way to metamorphose whatever we are doing into something that is trending, something that is current. It's really, really important. I am an aerospace engineer in the making. We do not fly planes. I saw somebody saying our future pilots. My job is not to fly aircraft. Yes, my job is to design them. I discovered that artificial intelligence and intelligence systems generally, they have great applicability in aerospace engineering. And the funniest thing about that is not so many people know it. All my colleagues were choosing projects in heat transfer, in this and that, and co. But I just discovered that there are very few researchers in the world, specifically China, Japan, some parts of US, that are trying to integrate artificial intelligence with aerospace engineering, and they are doing awesome works at it. They are doing very beautiful work at it. So I decided to go through that. So eventually, you discover that what artificial intelligence can really do is limitless, is ideally limitless. Let me share my screen and show you some things. I think my time is almost up. I don't know, they didn't give me a precise time, but let me show you some things, some very specific things. I would like to show you the timeline. Firstly, I would like to show you the timeline of artificial intelligence. So I downloaded this from a Facebook group that I belong to, and I read it online, and I saw it's true. So in 1642 now, see, how far ago, man? 1642. In 1642, the first mathematical calculating machine was built by French mathematician and inventor. They taught us all this in our computer science class. Now move on. The first design for a programmable machine by Charles Babbage. See, moving on. In 1943, now we have foundations of neural networks that was established by Warren McCulloch, you understand, and Walter Pittis. They drew parallel connections. These are the people that developed what we call the multi-layer perceptrons, MLP systems. They were the ones that designed the first perceptrons, single-layer perceptrons that most of us learn about if you are trying to go the mathematical way to machine learning. These are some of the people that postulated that. Then we have Alan Turing, which he was the one that introduced the Turing Test. Now, let me share something with you about the Turing Test. I believe I should be able to search on the Turing Test online. Uh, you will laugh now. The Turing Test, that guy that developed the Turing Test, you see what I'm saying now. The Turing Test in artificial intelligence, yeah, Wikipedia. So it's Alan Turing that developed it. Now, sorry, I should go on Wikipedia. Emma Bruno. So it is used to test um it is used to test how intelligent a machine is. You understand? So let's go there now. I think I have it over here. I downloaded it, but I really don't know where I put it. So sorry. All right, this is not what I'm looking for. Okay. I think we can get something really nice. I just want you to really get involved. So the Turing test is basically a set of tests that is meant to determine how intelligent a machine, a piece of machine is. You understand? So I really hope. Okay, if we don't get it now, I think I will just send it as a picture to us all. You understand? There's one precise way. There's one precise thing I saw that I really love, but I'm not saying that here. I'm not saying that here. I'm not saying that here. So the Turing test is basically a set of tests that, like I said, is meant to determine how intelligent a machine is. And there's something we called AGI and NI and ANI. Now, AGI is what is called artificial general intelligence. ANI is what is called narrow intelligence. And if there's one thing you should take away from this seminar, I think it should be this. There is AGI and there's ANI. That's in fact the major classification at the uppermost echelon. I think that's the major classification of okay, I think that's the major classification of artificial intelligence. We have AGI and ANI. AGI is artificial general intelligence and ANI is artificial narrow intelligence. Now, AGI, sorry, I'm still sharing my screen. So AGI basically is, do we have an artificial intelligence system that can completely mimic human intelligence? Think about everything you do as an human being. You can stand up, you can decide if you're hungry or not, you can decide if you want to go to school or not. So the Turing test is actually a set of tests that is meant to determine if an AI system fulfills the entire okay, let me say, is like a criteria for determining if an AI system is AGI or ANI. And it's 5 in number. I think the first is self-awareness. I think the second is the artificial intelligence system should be able to take up a job like a normal person and should be able to integrate into the normal into the society. And I think the third one is that that system must be able to I think they said it must be able to get a job like a normal person. And you know, it is multidimensional like that, but it's just majorly meant to determine how intelligent a system is. Then ANI, we don't have any full-scale AGI now. Let me just tell you that precise. I'll show you some videos before we leave, just very few videos. But we don't have any mainstream AGI now. I mean, an AGI that can live like a normal human being, that can get a job like a normal human being, that can go to school, graduate like a normal person, eh? We don't have that. But we have ANI. Siri is an example of ANI. Google Assistant is an example of ANI. ANI is artificial narrow intelligence. In other words, there are systems that are very good at one thing. Very good. Chatbots are major example. Chatbots are good at being chatbots. A chatbot might not be able to help you with other stuff. In fact, a chatbot might not be able to answer questions about history for you. But chatbots are very good about answering questions related to the company it was designed for. You understand? That's ANI. Very good at that. Siri is another example. Alexa is another example. They are all narrow intelligence. You understand? So Nowadays, we have artificial intelligence now being scaled up to so many phases, and it's now becoming so multidimensional that even me that actively follow every single piece of intelligence system, from the ones being developed by Boston Dynamics to Facebook to Blue Origin to Google's deep learning group to Android G, I find it hard to keep up. So the best thing you can do is, for your career, look for how artificial intelligence applies to it. It might be the only thing you need to really stand out. Let me give you an example. In the banking industry, there is something that is called RPS, robotics and process automation. Yes, is one of those things that any accounting student that has that knowledge will stand out. That's how I make my money. Sincerely, that's how I make my money. All these things, I have a knowledge about them. So I can just go to any department and say, okay, let's gather ourselves, let me teach you about this stuff. Because these are things people don't research about, these are things we don't consider, and these are underlying systems powering banks like Bank of America, Bank of London, Chase, Goldman Sachs. These are very simple systems. How many of you know about robotics and process automation? Search on it. In fact, let me shock you. There is a free degree on robotics and process automation online. I don't think they, yeah, a free certificate by RPS. Automation Everywhere, yeah, is one of the leading organizations issuing that certificate. They are offering their certificate for free, yet people don't know about it. RPS is one system that, you see, all these things, all these bank settlement stuff, data analysis, moving data from one side to another, downloading all this data warehousing, it can automate everything from A to Z. That's robotics and process automation. Yes, I understand, a few minutes left. It can automate everything from A to Z, but people don't really know about it. I was talking to you the other time about linguistic students. The fact that if you have skills like natural language processing under your belt, you can actually do a lot. A lot. You can design chatbots for companies. Let's say you were employed by, let's even assume you're employed by a very small organization in Nigeria, by a bank. Yes, let's say we all know UBA's Leo now. Leo, they automate all these chatting, all these customer queries. That's one practical example of NLP. And the funny thing is, they employ people, foreigners, to do these things. Robotics and process automation. Mr. Onwuka is robotics and process automation. Just search for RPA online. They employ foreigners to do all these things generally because we don't have people that can demonstrate sufficient knowledge in these areas to do them. And that's one thing that I believe we should all work on. So what's the takeaway for tonight? Intelligence systems has come to stay. A lot of us fantasize, these are the takeaways, important points for tonight. A lot of us fantasize about the fact that intelligence systems, they in a few years time they will leave, people are just fantasizing about them, the buzz is too much, all these things. Now lie, your brother, they have come to stay and they are real. And the only thing that will happen is they will keep permeating every sector of our society, because very soon we might have intelligent metering systems for electricity. We can have artificial intelligence systems that are creeping into our households. You won't even know, because funny thing is, Nigeria won't employ Nigerians today. They will employ foreigners. A foreign company will just come, do the proposal, and the IBDC will just see the sense in it, and they start deploying it. Before you know it, you will see on your meter, your normal meter, you just see that is an AI system that is managing electricity consumption for you. So you just about to lose 60 watts. There's something wrong with your house. They know you use 20 watts normally, and today you're using 60 watts. Kilo day AI systems. So the question is, why can't we have indigenous people becoming experts in these things and really deploying the solutions for our country? I'm not talking about you having billions of dollars. I'm talking about you having a big idea. That's one solution. You becoming really good at that thing and you deploying it. And the funny thing is, people like Paystack, companies like Paystack, companies like Kuda Bank, most fintech company in Nigeria has showed us that even if the government doesn't support us, we can still do this on our own. I was reading the other day that it was the president of Ghana that went to Jack of Twitter to sign the bill that they want to create Twitter's Africa headquarters in Ghana. The president of Ghana brokered that deal. Buhari can do that for us. Yes, we know that. But if he can't we, you see, somebody is saying they have introduced it in IBDC main meter, new meters now. So the question now is, can't we deploy such solutions? Can't indigenous people like you, like the 20 people watching me right now, can't we deploy such solutions for our land? Why can't we develop intelligent traffic systems for places like Ilori? Why can't we come up with that proposal? One person really good at it should come up with that, and we should deploy it practically. And the funny thing is, you can do it because technology has made it in such a way that all these courses are accessible for all of us. The entire deep learning curriculum of Stanford University is online. The entire artificial intelligence curriculum of IBM is online. We can go for competitions remotely. We can interact. We are all computer science students. Most of us have done all these things. So you understand what I'm saying? We can interact with people at the other ends of the world virtually without anybody knowing. I think if I'll be invited tomorrow, I will talk more and I'll show you guys the videos that I wanted to show you on some of the main applicability of these things, and I'll be showing you some of those courses that I believe will really help you guys. I'll be showing you a course on cybersecurity. I'll be showing you another one on finance. Yes, business intelligence. So for most of you that love finances, cryptocurrency, how they use AI to develop trading in crypto trading. It's enormous. By the way, for those of you that bought BAF coins, congratulations to you. I heard you guys won big. I mean, I shared the money, but anyway, back to what we're discussing. How they develop systems for all these, and I'll be showing you some of those courses from Udemy, from Coursera, from Udacity, and how you can actually leverage them as Nigerian students. Then the second most important takeaway is that don't let us wait for the society to call us. Don't let us wait for the society to give us that wake-up call. Yes, don't let us wait for that. People in Kwara State University are some of the most awesome. I'm not saying the university is good. I'm saying the people there, they are awesome. I think I and somebody, we are working on delivery drones right now. How can we develop drones that are intelligent enough to know where to deliver stuff? These are things we can deploy. I'm not talking about those that will use 4G. We know some states in Nigeria don't have 4G. We know some Malete does not have 4G in some places. So how can we use GPS that uses localized SLAM, simultaneous localization and mapping? How can we develop such systems that can know where exactly to deliver a piece of cargo? I'm not talking about 5 kg cargo. I'm talking about drugs. You understand? I'm talking about vaccines. I'm talking about just these simple stuff. Ghana is doing it. Ghana over there, they are doing it. So why can't we? Guys, we can do it. We all can do it with the right exposure, with the right knowledge, with the right environments like this. I'm not talking about physical environment. I'm talking about virtual environments like this. We're speaking to each other like this. I really believe we can do it. Then lastly, finally for tonight, while I talk about artificial intelligence systems and intelligence systems, there are things that are happening in the world that I believe we can all tap into in real time, and I believe will really help us as computing students. And